Hey guys, there's something going on with the speed stat in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, and I'm here to show you what my findings were because I wanted to talk about this a while ago, and I was afraid to talk about it because I didn't think I had my facts straight, but now I do, so let's get into it. So, we're going to start from the lowest speed to the highest speed. And so right now, we're at 2 speed with Amy. She has the lowest speed in the game. And so I'm going to show you just what exactly her speed goes up to with 3 ways of testing this. All right, we got 3 ways. So I'll show you in a moment here. All right, so this is Amy with 2 speed, 0 rings. Let's see what her max speed goes up to. By the way, I love how the car shifts gears when it's trying to accelerate to max speed. It's pretty cool. 180, 181. That is the slowest speed that you can get. All right, 180, 181. That's crazy. Wow. But let's see what she looks like with max rings. All right, this is the second test. All right, so now we got max rings. Again, this is Amy with 2 speed. Let's see what her max speed is. Oh boy, 180, 181 was her slowest. And now we got 195 basically. 195 with the 2 speed stat. So take that as you will. All right, 195 with max rings with the 2 speed stat. Like, that's not the worst thing ever, I guess, maybe. You know, that's just regular accelerating. But there's the last test, test number 3. And that's the max speed that you can possibly get. I'm talking max rings, using a boost, using a dash panel, all that stuff. All right, so now let's see what a level 3 drift plus a King Wisp and boost panel does for me. We get a max speed of 234 as Amy with 2 speed. Okay, so 234 is the lowest amount of speed with max speed that you can get. Does that make sense? That's the max speed you can get with the lowest speed stat is 234. Also, in case you're wondering, drift boost and wisp boost, they do not stack. Those are 2 different boosts that don't stack. So if you do a level 3 boost and a wisp boost, you're kind of wasting your wisp boost right there. You just let the level 3 play out and then use the wisp boost to get that maximum boost again, and you should be golden. Drift boost and dash pads, they do stack. So level 3 drift boost into a freaking dash pad and you're golden. Good job. Wisp boost and boost pads, they stack as well. So you got a wisp, you got a dash pad. I keep calling them boosts and dash pads. You get what I'm talking about. You got a wisp and you got a dash pad. If you use the wisp, get on the dash pad, your speed's gonna stack up, getting you to that maximum of 234. Just remember, drift and wisp do not stack. Keep that in mind for this upcoming season of testing right now, because we got more speeds to test. We're gonna go with max speed right now. All right, so we got max speed going on here, 100 freaking speed. Let's see what happens here. So here's what 100 speed looks like with no rings. Remember, we got like what, 180 something? I don't even remember. I'll have a graphic up or something. But we hit 185, 186. That is max speed, by the way, with no rings. Now let's see what happens when we have max rings. So this is what max rings look like with max speed. All right, here we go. Oh boy, how fast are we going? How fast? Basically 200. Basically 200. That's a vast improvement, I would say. That's for sure. So now what we got to do is test out max rings with a boost drift boost and or wisp. I think wisp would be easier, you know? You feel? Let's do that. Okay, so here we go. We're about to do all the speed shenanigans. And by the way, in case you're wondering, the King Wisp does not make you faster. It just makes your boost last longer, which I guess in a way makes you faster. Anyway, we got 240 going on there. That was 240. It was there for a split second, but 240 max speed. That's the fastest you can go in this game. Wow. Okay, that's pretty impressive. 240. I'll freaking take that. Listen, this is why I'm making this video. Because it's situations like that where you're at the final stretch, you want to outspeed everyone. You want to use your boost, you want to get the dash pads, you want to have max rings and just outspeed everyone. 240, that's how you do it. But testing ain't over yet, okay? Again, I'm going to have the numbers on screen for you guys because I'm not able to remember all these numbers with all this talking, you know? So I'm going to make life easier for you and put in a nice little cool little format there. So yeah, whatever TSG did, there it is. There's the numbers for lowest speed and fastest speed. What we're gonna do now is a speed of 60. Yeah, I'm gonna see what the most optimal speed really is to see just how efficient this speed stuff is. Because what everyone does, this is the controversy by the way, what everyone's been doing is that they test out speed with no rings, speed with max rings. Okay, sure, yeah, that's fine because I guess that's what a majority of your races might look like. but you're going to be boosting, right? So let's see what the max speed looks like with these boosts. That's what I'm trying to show you guys, because to get the fullest out of your speed stat, you got to get to your highest speed. That's not just holding down the accelerator. That's boosting, man. Keep boosting. All right, so we're going to be using Tails here in the Whirlwind Sport for 60 speed. It's a nice even 60. So let's see what happens here. This is 60 speed with no rings. Let's see what that max speed looks like, shall we? Where are we at? 183, 184. Okay. It's always confusing when it like alternates like that. It's like, what do I say, you know? I just say 183, 184. That's what I'll put for the graphic. Actually, you know what? No, for the graphic, I'll just put like the actual speed it's getting to, which is 184. It hits 184, you know? All right, moving on. Let's get max rings. All right, we got max rings, so let's see just how fast do we go with max rings. Oh boy. 198. 198, 60 speed, by the way. Remember, max speed gets you to 200. So keep that in mind. That's why we're doing this testing right now. This is exactly the reason. So now we're going to do official max speed with max boost, all that stuff. Or I shouldn't say, hold up. 60 speed with max boost and wisp dash pads. You've seen it twice now. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got our max rings. We got our boost. Let's get that dash panel and see what the max speed actually is here. We got 237. Oh, well, it went to 238 like slightly to 238. Wow. Okay. Let's keep that in mind. Update those graphics. And yeah, let's move on to 80 rings, shall we? Or 80 rings, 80 speed. Put that in the blooper reel. All right, so we got 80 speed here with Sonic and the Speedster Lightning. And in case you're wondering why I'm not doing 70, is because I'm really trying to see like what the range truly is here. Because we can go through like 60, 61, 62, 63. No, let's not do that. I'm just going to do 60, 80, 100, and we did the lowest being 2. So this is the last test right here, that being 80 speed. So let's see what happens here, shall we? By the way, in case anyone's curious, this is being done on Sonic Speed. I'm not doing Supersonic Speed because that's not online, and I know majority of you, if not all of you, play online. And also subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm at 3,000. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so no rings, 80 speed. Let's see what happens. $185. Okay, that's with 80 speed. Now let's get max rings. 80 speed with 100 rings. Let's see how fast we truly go here. $199. Now see, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Max speed doesn't really seem worth it in that regard. However, we need to see what true max speed looks like. So we need to be boosting with a dash pad and a wisp. So let's get to that real quick. All right, here we go. Max speed, or 80 speed with max rings and all that. We go to 39, 38. It was mostly at 38, wasn't it? 238? Huh. 238, 239. All right. Well, let's look at the graphics now, shall we? So, with all this data here, I'm confident to say that the speed stat isn't as useless as people think it is. It's not like it's all just the same speed, because we have the numbers here. Some of these numbers are close together, but they're not exactly the same. So 100 speed stat with the top speed of 240, that's pretty good, especially when you're trying to do the lap 3 final stretch going to the finish line. That's pretty damn good, because if you're neck and neck with someone and you got that top speed of 240, I highly doubt the other guys running 100 speed as well, especially if they're using like anyone other than Sonic, Shadow, and Blaze. You know, if they're using like Silver, you know they're not reaching that top speed. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. I like that. Actually, can you do it with the speed tuners? I don't know. That's not important right now. And then 2-speed. I mean, the only person that can really do that is like Amy, right? You know, like the only person that can do 2-speed is Amy. So if you see an Amy, maybe they're running the forbidden 2-speed tech, all right? But I have some more information for you guys, all right? So I actually have this line graph here that shows all of the speeds from 0 to 100. Like speed stat 0, speed stat 100. Obviously, I can't show you guys speed stat 0, but like, hey, it's a graph, okay? Listen, it's a graph. The top one, yellow line, is the max speed of the boost wisp and dash pad plus 100 rings. The red line in the middle, that's having just 100 rings. And then the blue line is having 0 rings. So keep that in mind. But if graphs are too hard for you to digest, I actually have something even more easy to digest. I just know people love graphs. You know, they like seeing inclines and how, you know, steady it is, because it's pretty nice, pretty nice. But I have this other graphic here that has a whole chart of all the numbers. So we got 2, 10, all the way to 100. And they show the exact numbers for everything. So I know the first thing that I would definitely notice is with 0 rings, 10, 20, and 30 speeds have 182 just consecutively. All 3 have them. And your first thought would be like, oh, well, look at that. Well, I never really carry rings anyway because I'm always getting hit online. So therefore, I don't need to worry about having a high speed at all. I can just have 10, 20, and 30. Who cares? Well, it may say 182. However, as that graph showed, it's a steady incline. So they're not exactly the same. So if you remember with my testing that I showed you guys, there were numbers flickering. Now, I just want to say I didn't show all the testing of like 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, because that would have been repetitive. And, you know, we kind of just want the info like fast already. But they were flickering. And what I'm surmising is that with 10 speed, it was flickering with 181, 182 because it was just barely reaching that 182 threshold. And I wanted to put down like what threshold it was actually reaching. When it comes to 20, think of it like this. It was 181.5. Yeah, 181.5. Yeah. And then 30 is actually hitting that 182. So think about it like that. And I know that's not much of a difference per se. It's not much. However, it does make a difference, again, when you're doing that final stretch to the finish line. As much speed as possible. You want to just freaking do the Lightning McQueen and just really stick your tongue out, you know? You really want to do that. You really do. And then also max speeds, max speed 100 rings, that comes in handy for freaking time trials and stuff. If you are doing time trials, or if you're a perfectionist online who never gets hit, max speed 100 rings can really make the difference, because look at 100 speed stat with 200 speed. That's freaking crazy. You're doing 200 speed while everyone else is probably doing like what, 198, 197. I feel like on average, because on extreme gear you can only get up to a max of 198 to, I would say 197 is what you're usually going to see against people with max rings. But if you're running that 200, you're automatically going to be outspeeding them, especially if you got the boost wisp plus dash pad 100 rings going on. So that's something to keep in mind. And again, those consistent numbers you see of 198, remember, one of the 60 for max rings, it's just barely hitting 198. And then you have, oh, sorry, I meant to say 50. 50 for max rings is just barely hitting 198. 60's like 197.5, which is why it's probably flickering. Again, this is not exact. I don't know why exactly the numbers are flickering, but this is my estimate as to why it's happening. With all this information in mind, keep this in mind when you're trying to make your builds. When you're looking at like all your stats and you're like, oh man, that speed stat, it's at 60. What does that mean? Well, screenshot this. Freaking go here, screenshot this, and use this to your advantage. Okay, I'm giving this all to you. This is all up to you guys now to determine what builds are your best builds. Because I swear to you, I was using Rouge for time trials all the time. All the time. Because I'm like, damn, that handling goes hard. I can handle her curves, you know? And so, Eggman Expo came up, and I'm like, dude, why can't I get a freaking A rank? Like, what the heck is going on here? Eggman Expo is kind of built different. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my main, Sonic and Speedster Lightning / Royal Chariot. That's my main setup. And I had max speed on, and I got an A rank first try. Almost got the S rank. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Because I was looking into speed before this happened. And because I was looking into speed, I was like, okay, what if I did this? Because I need to confirm what this speed stat's truly doing. Once that happened, I was like, I gotta make the video. I gotta make the video. This is crazy. I can actually do this without going wild like a madman. Like, what? I don't have to drift everywhere constantly. Like, what is this? Oh man, it really opened up my eyes to a lot of things. And I hope this video opened up your eyes to things as well. So again, take all this information. It's as real as it's gonna get. I really hope it helps. But before I go, I need to shout out my YouTube members and my only coffee member, Kofi Coffee. And we'll start with the coffee guy, Hippolito. Okay, you're a veteran at this point. Like, you have been with me for so long now, so I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And then my beautiful YouTube members, Green Paint Sniffer, Spadonic, and Null. Thank you so much, you three, for being a YouTube member. I really, really appreciate that. Hippolito, you're also a YouTube member as well. So like, Hippolito's like, you know, putting his hand in both tanks, all right? So I appreciate that. And if you want to become a YouTube member, you can also be shouted out here. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Also, 3,000 subscribers. We hit that threshold. Very, very nice. If you guys got any ideas for a 3K YouTube special, I would very much appreciate that. I have some ideas floating around, but you know, I want to know what you guys want, because it's mostly about what you all want. I want to be able to make you all happy. One last thing, if you guys want me to go through acceleration, power, and boost, and handling, oh god, I listen. I don't want to say I hope you don't want that. I don't want to say that, but at the same time, if you need it, I'll do my best. Okay, I enjoy CrossWorlds. I like this. I can't believe Sonic Rumble came out before this video came out. There's just so much info I need to look into. I'll catch you all later. Stay blue and have an S-rank day. See you all next time.